Alarm bells are on in Joshimath, ladies and gentlemen. There are evacuations happening, there are teams that are assessing the amount of damage, and also large question that looms, that is all of Joshimath under threat of subsidence. Could we lose the existence of Joshimath as we know altogether to what is being termed as an ecological come man-made disaster? We'll try and understand the various dynamics, but cracks have now been seen in over 680 buildings, and as many as 81 families have now been relocated to safer areas. The pre-demolition exercise has begun in Joshimath as multiple teams have reached the spot to study buildings. Now, 2 or 3 buildings have been identified which will be raised with an effort to try and reduce the load on the topsoil and perhaps somewhere stem the subsidence and the resulting cracks, which is happening across many other homes, 680 of the buildings so far. The MOS Defence Ajay Bhatt has also visited Joshimath to take stock of the situation. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Pushkar Dhami has ordered surveys to be conducted at all hill districts of the state. Joshimath has been declared a landslide subsidence zone at the moment, and even as we speak, the Chief Minister is in a review meeting with the local district magistrate and some of the other officials who are part of the relief, rescue, rehabilitation work.
Emotions are high here in Joshimath for all those affected families who have been asked to shift to the nearby safer location. We are now in conversation with one of the affected lady, Rekha. She has come here to pay a last visit to her old residence. Rekha जी, आज आप यहाँ पे आई हैं, आंखें आपकी नम भी हैं, क्या भावनाएं लेकर के आप यहाँ पे आज पहुंची हैं?
आज मेरे मन में वही, आज अपने घर को जो हमने पहले सही सलामत देखा था उसे देखने चले जाएं, देख लें अपने भाइयों का कैसा उनको लग रहा यहाँ पे देख के तो।
So this is the high on emotion sequence that we are showing you here on CNN News 18. Rekha ji, she has spent most of her life at this particular place, which is now turned into the Anganwadi center. But a lot of her younger life, she has been all through her life at this place only. But now it has been marked as unsafe. This is the reason why for the very last time she has come here to pay a visit. And during the last time she has made some of the photograph and the videography as well of the house, which reminds her of her entire livelihood, entire life from birth to till death position.
जोशीमठ की तरह कर्णप्रयाग में भी घरों में मोटी मोटी दरारें आने लगी हैं और हालात कुछ घरों के तो ऐसे हो गए हैं कि मानो वो जमींदोज होने की कगार पर हों। आप मेरे पीछे ये जो घर देख रहे हैं, आप साफ तौर पर देख सकते हैं किस तरीके से यहाँ पर पूरे के पूरे जो ढांचा है वो कमजोर होकर गिरना शुरू हो गया है। आपको सीढ़ियों के जरिए जाते हुए दिखाएंगे, ये सीढ़ियों पे आप देख सकते हैं और उधर भी क्रैक्स पड़े हुए हैं। न सिर्फ इतना, इस घर के अंदर ये वॉशरूम का इलाका है, देखिए पूरी तरीके से ये दरार है और कभी भी ये वाला जो हिस्सा है इधर सड़क की तरफ गिर सकता है। इधर आप देखिए ये मोटे मोटे पत्थर आपको दिखाई दे रहे होंगे और ये जो वॉशरूम है वो पूरी तरीके से ब्लॉक हो चुका है, मिट्टी गिरनी शुरू हो गई है और ये कब गिर जाए कुछ मालूम नहीं। अंदर जाके जरा आपको हालात दिखाते हैं, यहाँ के क्या कुछ हालात हैं। दरअसल ये वाकई बहुत खतरनाक है। यहाँ पर देखिए हालत क्या है, ये पूरा का पूरा ये बिम है और सपोर्ट के लिए लगाई जाती है, जो कि खुद इस वक्त देखिए किस तरीके से पूरी तरीके से टेढ़ी हो चुकी है। यहाँ बड़े बड़े पत्थर हैं और ऐसे में कब जमींदोज हो जाएगा कुछ पता नहीं। चौतरफा अगर कुछ दिखाई दे रहा है तो सीमेंट के छोटे छोटे टुकड़े, ये देखिए इस तरह के टुकड़े जो कि दीवारों से झर-झर के नीचे गिरने शुरू हुए हैं। लेकिन इधर के हालात तो और भी ज्यादा खराब हैं। ये पूरी की पूरी विम क्रैक पड़ी है, कुछ कपड़े हैं, डब्बा है जो कि यहाँ पर इस घर में इस्तेमाल किया गया होगा और ये वाला इलाका पूरी तरीके से जर्जर, मतलब हल्का सा भी कंपन हुआ तो ये इलाका जमींदोज हो जाएगा।
इस वक्त हम मौजूद हैं गांधीनगर वार्ड में, ये छावनी बाजार का इलाका है। देखिए यहाँ क्या तस्वीरें हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं। यहाँ लोगों को घरों से जाने के लिए कहा गया है और ये स्थिति यहाँ पर बनी हुई है। घर की तस्वीरें आपको दिखा रहे हैं किस तरीके से सीढ़ी पूरा कोना छोड़ चुकी है और अंदर बेहद खतरनाक तस्वीरें। इसके ज्यादा अंदर जाना हमारे लिए भी खतरनाक है, पर यहाँ फर्श से आप जरा शुरुआत कर लें तो आपको नजर आएगा कि क्या हालत यहाँ पर बनी हुई है। पूरा फर्श जो है 2 भागों में यहाँ पर टूटकर बिखर गया है। जरा दीवार ऊपर की तरफ देखिए, दीवारों में किस किस तरीके के गैप्स आ गए हैं। पीछे तक पूरा जो मकान है वो टूटकर खिसक गया है, खिसक कर टूटा हुआ है। यहां आप देखें बड़े बड़े पत्थर जिनसे दीवार बनाई हुई वो बिल्कुल अलग अलग हिस्सों में यहां पर नजर आ रहे हैं। यहां पूरे इस स्लैब एरिया को अगर आप देखेंगे तो बिल्कुल अलग हिस्सों में ही नजर आ रहा है। पीछे तक जहां तक देखेंगे दरारें और गहरी दरारें बिल्कुल नजर आ रही हैं। बेहद खतरनाक ये घर, जिसको फिलहाल खाली करा दिया गया है। इसमें रहने वाले लोगों को घर वापस आने की उम्मीद तक नहीं है। इस वजह से ही उन्होंने घर को भी बिना ताले के छोड़ा हुआ है। लोग यहां पर आकर इनके घर के हालात देखकर समझ रहे हैं कि किस दौर से घर के जो मालिक हैं वो गुजरे होंगे। तस्वीरें जब बाहर की भी हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं तो साफ पता चल रहा है कि कितना खतरनाक यहां पर रहना था। ये जरा इन दो मकानों के बीच का गैप देखिए, ये दो जो कमरे हैं इसके बीच का गैप देखिए, कितना ज्यादा ये गैप यहां पर बढ़ गया है। और यही तस्वीर बाहर जो ये पूरा खिड़की का इलाका है, ये जहां पर खिड़की लगी हुई है, ये पूरा यहां आपको इसके बाहर आता हुआ नजर आ रहा है। इधर ये गैप देखिए, ये कोई डिजाइन नहीं है बल्कि ये खिसक कर इससे बाहर आया हुआ है। और इसी तरीके की तस्वीरें, डरावनी तस्वीरें नजर आ रही हैं।
सर, आप होके आए हैं जोशीमठ और पूरे में अफसरों की टीम भी है। पिछले कुछ दिनों के जितने डेवलपमेंट्स हुए हैं आप उसको कैसे सम अप करते हैं?
देखिए, अभी सारे ही संस्थान राज्य सरकार के हों, भारत सरकार के हों, सभी की प्राथमिकता है कि इस समय लोगों को सबसे पहले तो सुरक्षित स्थानों पर किया जाए। जो बहुत सारे भारत सरकार के संस्थान हैं, एनडीएमए और एनडीआरएफ और यहाँ की हमारी एसडीआरएफ, ये सारे लोग मौके पर हैं। प्रधानमंत्री जी की चिंता है कि लोगों की जान माल की रक्षा की जाए और इसमें अभी तात्कालिक और दीर्घकालिक जो इनके पुनर्वास की स्थिति है उस पर एक प्लान किया जाए। मानसून सत्र से पहले ही, मानसून के आने से पहले ड्रेनेज के काम को पूरा कर दिया जाए, जिससे कि आने वाले समय में इसी प्रकार से जो सीवरेज का लाइन वहां पर पड़ गया है, वो लोगों के अभी घरों से जुड़ नहीं पाया है, उसको जोड़ने के लिए भी हमने कहा है कि तत्कालिक रूप से उस पर भी कार्रवाई की जाए।
Well, it's not just natural. There is a lot of man-made angle and aspect to it. Not just about development, but also unbridled residential construction and, of course, flirting with danger, if you may say. Because the Uttarakhand State Disaster Management Authority had released a strategic plan for risk reduction back in 2018. Let's try and have a look at this image, ladies and gentlemen, and carefully. Let's focus on this image first. Now, you see this entire red zone, red dot area. Now, this red zone, and Joshimath is right on that red zone. So, a lot of these regions, some of these holy towns, including Joshimath, are highly vulnerable to three natural calamities. One is because of the fault line passing through earthquakes. Then, because of it, it's a hilly area, landslides, and because of the quakes, again, landslides, and then, of course, because there are river systems and lakes around this place, there will be floods, so flash floods. So, landslides, earthquakes, flash floods, this place is highly vulnerable because it's right there situated on the fault line. The built-up area in Joshimath is very, very dense and congested in certain parts, with many buildings built without quake resistance, without following the proper protocols. And the two big population centers are these towns that are clearly at very, very high risk. Now, let's try and understand a little more why this is important, because Joshimath is the first stop, or perhaps the only route towards Badrinath. It's 37.3 kilometers from Badrinath. It's one of the important aspects. 42.1 kilometers from Mana, that is the China border. So it is right there, not so far away. And if Joshimath, there is something that happens to us, there is no link direct towards the Mana or the China border, and nothing there. No. So 41 kilometers from Mana, the last Indian village. That's what it is. Nearly 100 kilometers from the line of actual control. Indo-Tibet Border Police Battalion is stationed here. Garhwal Scouts operate a base in Joshimath. And of course, it is close to Barahoti, which sees repeated PLA incursions. So this is a region which is strategically important even for the Chinese and the PLA. So anything that happens in this region towards India, and if that region is shut off or access is shut off, the PLA will want to move in and once again try and occupy territory that does not belong to them. Because for them, sealing off this region is critical as far as their CPEC ambitions are in this region. And of course, they would want to try and get some advantage in this region of Siachen and try and control large parts of Leh Ladakh and also Kargil. So there is a strategic importance too of Joshimath to what is happening. And of course the crucial Joshimath Malari Road, which is essential for border operations. So all of these angles come into play. Before we go to Pathikrit Pain and also to our reporters on ground, we've joined by Himanshu Khurana, is DM of Chamoli. Himanshu ji, namaste. I know you're getting into a briefing with the Chief Minister. Quickly, 3 or 4 questions. What is the current situation in Joshimath and the nearby areas?
So 678 structures as of yesterday and today morning have witnessed cracks and also we have evacuated till now 81 families into relief camps such as hotels, dharamshalas and guest houses we acquired for the same purpose.
How many buildings are going to be raised to try and stem the subsidence?
Guidance and supervision of Central Building Research Institute, Roorkee. They have recommended that 2 buildings should be demolished and under their supervision the process is starting and in a safe and scientific manner so that it does not pose any risk to the local citizens.
Now, is it restricted only to Joshimath? Because there are reports that it's been seen in neighboring villages areas also.
So experts from Geological Survey of India, National Institute of Hydrology and Wadia Institute and other such government agencies from the Government of India and are investigating the causes and the reasons. Shortly, I think we hope they'll be able to tell us.
So there could be multiple causes, that's under review, but how many other villages are under threat?
There is one nearby village, Reni village, that is after the Reni disaster in February 2021, some houses witnessed some form of subsidence and we have recommended, the geologist has recommended for their rehabilitation. The process is underway.
So what happens to these 81 families that have been rehabilitated so far? What happens to their existing homes?
They have been shifted to hotels, dharamshalas we have acquired. And regarding their homes, it will depend on the investigations by these agencies.
Is there any compensation mechanism that's been devised? Because people have, put in their life savings to build these homes. They now have to leave it.
The compensation and rehabilitation is being discussed with stakeholders and local people right now.
Well, so it's being discussed. I know it may be part of the agenda in your meeting with the Chief Minister. Final question, is there a threat to all of Joshimath? Are we looking at a situation that we will not see Joshimath as we know anymore?
I think experts have not told us that till now. We are waiting for their opinion.
All right. Thank you, Himanshuji. I know you're being economical with the information you can let out right now. We hope to be able to speak with you at length very soon, post the briefing, and of course, once an update comes in from the overall assessment in Joshimath. Quickly, let's go on to Nikhil Lakhwani, who's there in Joshimath. He's been there for 2 or 3 days. Nikhil, what is the current situation? Is there more evidence of subsidence? Are these cracks appearing in more buildings, or somewhere because of all the work that's been stopped, there is perhaps a certain amount of reduction in the amount of subsidence that's being witnessed?
So Anand, as far as the current updates are concerned, yes, there are many of the buildings which are reporting the cracks. This is the reason why each late evening a report is prepared by the district administrative office as to how many official buildings are there who have recorded deep cracks. But currently we are reporting outside from 2 of the hotels which are set to be demolished today. Tomorrow they are set to be demolished. So a team of CBRI, Central Building Research Institute, they paid a visit, Anand, to this particular hotel. Yesterday, a team of this CBRI, they paid a visit. They have scanned the entire area. The studies have been done. And also you can see in the visuals that a team of SDRF, they are already deployed here. There are other of the agencies as well who have been put here on standby mode. These are the locals who have gathered here to see a glimpse as to how the demolition is going to take place. But clearly it is on fragile land. This is the reason why every step has to be taken in accordance, and also all the stakeholders will be considered before taking any of the action. But as per the further details, we have been also informed that tomorrow the main exercise of the demolition is going to start at two of the hotels. At the same time, I would urge Anand, my camera person, Pradeep, Kumar Das, to show the visual as to how dense, how thick the cracks are now seen outside this hotel. So this is the proper layer which starts from Hotel A, because two of the hotels are there. The gap between the two is almost negligible. Clearly, this is the visual that is now being played out on CNN News 18. So this is the crack as well at the same time. So one of the part of the crack, as seen in the visual, it has been separated from the original hotel. This is the reason why under the Disaster Management Act, the notices have been served, Anand, to all the stakeholders. But CBRI is the one who is going to take a call as to which building or what are the premises which demands the demolition at the earliest. Because they are
how many
posing a risk
buildings are
to
going to be
other nearby
demolished?
places. This is the
Is
reason
there a
why-
hotel? Is there a hotel and one or two other buildings which are going to be demolished? That's already been decided. So what happens to the hotel owners? It's their property. Are they going to get compensated for it? How do the authorities feel? Will it be beneficial? Why will it be beneficial if they break these? If they bulldoze these hotels? These 2-3 buildings.
So Anand, CBRI, a team, so a team of the CBRI is the one who directed the local administration that at the earliest demolition of these two hotels is must because they are posing threat to nearby houses. But as far as the compensation is concerned, we also posed this particular question to the local administration. A while back, we had a word with DM Chamoli, who is in charge nodal officer of the entire activity which is currently underway in Joshimath. He has said that the notices have been served, and after speaking to all the stakeholders, after speaking to the owners of these two hotels, the compensation part will be decided after discussions as to in what form the compensation would be given to them. But so far, if we talk about the official figure, Anand, here the CBRI, so far a team of CBRI, they have only suggested the demolition of these two buildings at the earliest. But they are also going to and this is something which we have reported yesterday as well, that a survey is being conducted in entire Joshimath to see the extent of the crackage which is being reported. Then a detailed report will be prepared, and after the directions which are being received by CBRI, the directions will be issued as to what are the buildings which needs the urgent demolition or the urgent attention in that sense. Back to you, Anand.
Right. Thank you for your inputs. Nikhil, quick word from Pathikrit Pain before we got to take a break. Pathikrit, the strategic importance of Joshimath cannot be lost. And then there has to be an in-depth investigation. Is it the development work that's been undertaken here? Or is there some other nefarious intent behind creating or triggering this calamity that we are seeing on the fault lines? Because there are multiple reasons.
These regions have always been prone to disasters. But let me tell you 2 points. Even if this disaster had not happened, the possibility of Chinese incursions in Uttarakhand was always profound after having what they have tried to do in Ladakh, and Sikkim and Arunachal. But I think if you look at what has happened in case of Kashmir or in Assam, the contingency measures have always been there for the armed forces in spite of severe floods. Counterinsurgency operations of border patrol have never got hampered. So in this case, what happens? Yes, the Joshimath, Malari road, which is very 105 kilometer road, which takes you to Barahoti, Lakhpal area. There could be bypasses because as part of the Indo-China border road projects, there are 10,000 kilometer roads which are being made. 5 out of those major roads are going to Uttarakhand. So I'm sure bypassing that would be a possibility. They will have that contingency measure in place. Secondly, for the last 2 years, especially during the Galwan crisis, the level of strategic airlifting capacity that Indian Air Force have demonstrated, that is amazing. There have been 11,000 sorties and certain times they have done in terms of exercises. So in case of a contingency situation or an emergency, you can actually airlift. But we also have to make sure that these strategic locations, even the economic imperatives are definitely there. The development projects will have to be in proportion to the importance these regions have in terms of the border, and this kind of situation should be avoided. If there are other reasons for which it has been triggered, we have to see tectonic or seismic challenges, whether they can be artificially created. Well, we don't know what kind of things can happen in today's world. And we have to be careful and we have to see how we actually avoid that kind of situation in future.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for your inputs, Pathikrit. We're going to take a very, very short break here on The Nation at 5. Stay with us.